Hey everyone, I'm Tassinix, and welcome to Plotting and Scheming, the Grand Arena focused podcast for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, focused around the top 100 or thereabouts of Kyber 1. I am here with my regular co hosts, Dagger, TJ, Sasha Aisha, and Fatal. Gentlemen, pretty good week, solid season. Most of it spent in the top bracket. Went 2-1 this week. I think that wraps me up as 6-3. Honestly, that last win was kind of incredible versus Rockstar. I'm not sure I fully deserved that. We'll cover the details in a bit. Nevertheless, good week on a good season. How about you, Dagger? Mm-hmm. Go on, Dagger. Please expand on that silence.
So your hat is dumb.
Thank you.
That is a
Sorry,
Sorry, I didn't
dramatic
know that we had
pause.
started. I didn't know that we had started the video. My apologies.
Well, you've ruined my
Um,
life. Also, tell us how your week went.
Good.
I got
I
the
went-
hat is dumb part, Dagger. I got your back.
Yeah, your head is dumb. I went 2-1, and I just you know how my week went. I streamed 2 of them on your channel.
Yeah, but I let you answer for yourself. What am I supposed to do? Just skip over you?
I mean, you answer for you. You seem more than happy to answer for me every time we're not on stream. You might as well answer for me
That's
when we're
right.
on stream, right?
I don't know. You know, a time, a place for everything. All right.
But never for that hat. Never again.
Terrible. All right, TJ, how about you? How'd the week go?
2-1. I would have been 3-0, but Task gave me bad advice completely on him. So he paid me back for my comings to give him bad advice. He thought he would do the same for me. Not my fault whatsoever. All of them. Other than that, it was a good week.
Sounds fair. Not at all biased take. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Sasha, Aisha, how about you? How did it all end? I know how one of them ended.
Yeah, it was a good week. I went 3-0, and I had I think it was all legit matches this week. I think but the first one might not have, I can't recall, but it was a 3-0
Your
week.
first one was an Erodium, but still, yeah.
Was that? It was the week before that was all 3. That's what it was. Okay. But yeah, no, it was good. Fun, really fun match with you. And then I had Baby Yoda in the finals, which means I got to see everything that's new revealed. So I got to see all those datacrons, including a QA squad that had over 400% defense on it that was embarrassed. That was fun. So we'll talk a little bit about that hopefully when we get there.
Fantastic, man. All right, Fatal. How about you? How did it all end? The plan executed? Are you on that upward trajectory that you were looking for?
Yeah, 3-0. Right into Paw Patrol players who gave me free wins. So, yeah, very competitive week. Very challenging.
Very nice. I mean, I'll take it. All right, guys, let's dig right into it. You know the drill. Meta-analysis. Topic 1. Obviously, set 22 datacrons being available this week is going to dominate the conversation. None more so than the new Dark Ray Cron. Put that up on screen here. I did have this available this week. In my first round, this team just hard shut out Arsenal. Generally having enough to get through on attack regardless, and just wave after wave of attacks, he was not able to get through this team. Then I faced Sasha, who was able to defeat it, and he was kind enough to even provide us a video. So let's throw that up on screen. A little bit of a speed increase. Okay, and he went with Mace as his tank. GK likely on defense this round with your Ray.
That's right. That's right. Dishing out crit immunity wherever he can. This is some cron selection and decision on my part. Ultimately going with. I was curious about that.
You're breaking up a little bit on us there.
But that level 3.
Everything you said the last 10 seconds was garbled. You'll have to say that again.
Well, I can try. I don't know if you can hear me.
I can. I can hear you. But anyway, we see that Mace ate the
Yeah, I
stun.
mean, goal here.
He'll do the reset to Cat.
On that's on JNK's turn. I ramped alt.
You're coming in bits and pieces here, but we're seeing your fight clearly. Whenever you get back into a better spot, when you're hearing us clearly, feel free to chime in. But everything's making sense so far. I'm very impressed with how much damage you're not taking. So
Yeah, but I also feel like he got the good setup, right? Not one of the more I would call it, say, fail points when you start the
well,
fight.
it doesn't
I
matter
had
who he stun. Like if he had stunned Cat, that wouldn't help the amount of like the team is still not taking that much damage. Is my point. That's what's surprising me.
I think it's what we had talked about before, though, right? Because we're looking at basically what it'll probably look like come next season. And fives is the like the damage reduction or whatever else is going to be. That it was going to be a key factor when we get there, and a lot of people just didn't have it. So it's the same thing where if we go watch the fight that Arsenal had with you, he didn't have that setup, and you saw how fast that just he just ate it and was done. So I agree. But I think this is what we're looking like next fives is pretty much
So-
this fight here.
Let me go back to that moment there, just for Bill Dark Ray. So it wasn't a mace reveal. Yeah, it wasn't even a mace reveal that enabled it. So Tank could have been anybody for all that it mattered. That's good to know. Sasha, how you doing? You coming back into a better zone? You able to offer some commentary on this fight?
You know, I hear you guys. I don't know whether you can hear me.
I
but,
can. You're coming through clear at the
I'll
moment.
I'll give
Yep.
another shot. Can you? Sure. So I mean, a couple of things that I noticed coming out of this. I mean, there's some what felt like a little bit of unavoidable RNG, but particularly around Ray's basic. You know, if she gets called to assist and ends up, or just basics into Cat, you know, on the third hit of her basic, you end up with an irresistible fear, and your cooldown gets pulled. And so much of this is about being opportunistic and waiting for the chance to get that leap off when she's not stealthed. Maces can be helpful. Like I said, I didn't end up needing it here. Timing was fortunate for me, but I was really cognizant of the fact that I might not get to leap or might not be able to leap when that opportunity presented. I do think that the defense made a difference. I think either defense or health was, you know, that survivability was the name of the game. But yeah, and it worked for me against Baby Yoda as well, and his Slicker in the second round. Same comp. Really, the only difference there was I distracted and timed out on it, but I ended up with just nothing but Slacker left.
Nice. Well, hey, well
Yeah,
done.
that worked.
Yeah, a great match we had.
Oh, the
I
only
learned a
other
lot
thing I was
from
going
it.
to add, it was a ton of fun tasks. The only thing I'll add is like in terms of Datacron selections, you saw at the beginning of the video, and I know I wasn't coming through. I was really considering that Hermit Yodacron for two reasons, but one of them, the level 3 on it, the level 3 is really it's an irresistible prod up that triggers 3 times, and so that was just a nice amount of survivability combined with you know, meaningful amount of additional damage done by Jedi. So I think you can kind of pull the rest of the team out, but I really would optimize for survivability ahead of the damage. But the HY Cron was tempting.
Yeah, so in the end, you went with a bulk level 3 with high defense. Okay, from the new set, so that'll be available to us, you know,
Yeah.
for the life of the new Focus Datacron. So that's good to know. Really appreciate you sharing this video. All
Yeah.
right, my own version of this
Yeah.
fight went
Works.
pretty poorly.
I'll be back
Sorry?
in just a bit, you guys. For a moment.
Yeah. No worries, man. Yeah, you're in a tough spot there, but thank you again for sharing. So yeah, my own fight doing this last week was not great. I was not terribly successful. I see how it's meant to go here. I think one of the fights I didn't have Padme. That one was decisively poor. I think she's a good piece in here for all the typical reasons. Yeah. Anyway, it was either drop her or drop Snips. I ended up dropping her for what I was thinking. I've heard that Darth Bane has been successful for some people, but I've not seen that. So, do you guys have any other comments on the JMK matchup? And then, what do you know about Bane or anything else heard of that's actually able to take this on? No? Oh,
I
oh,
didn't get to fight any, but I posted a link against mine.
somebody fighting
Uh,
yours? Oh, okay.
yeah. Now, crucially, I will
Oh,
say
see
I did
Bane.
not.
Okay, dig that.
Yeah, so I saw people saying Bane doesn't work, but they were almost always going for the like squishy R9 side. And I think that's just you do not get to do that here, right? Like Ray will check you for having a side that dies easily. So yeah, I figured the natural next step was like Sith Eternal or maybe Savage, but I don't know that Savage would handle the true damage well.
See, I know we were
Or
talking LV too, right? The easy one in the brain felt like an LV Bane as well.
I don't know about all
We're
that.
watching now.
That's over my pay grade, but yeah, right. Like you need someone to be able to stand by Bane, and so even like Sith Empire Trooper, if you could just like make him a brick, definitely seems like something that would be at least a next step to try.
I think the
No
Savage is
doubt.
a great one. I think that Savage call out is a pretty cool idea. Getting him up to putting him up to 9 to make sure he can trump what's happening and
Yeah,
helping with that.
100% you would have to be like considering a 9 just because
That's the only reason I said that.
Yep,
Is that
yep,
yeah?
yep.
Because your call out of making it reactive and him saying, "Go ahead, let's play the game." I think that would be a great idea to do.
Like if he can survive through the rail, then her multi-hit basics would probably make him decently happy. The only other
Mhm.
thing that's kind of weird is it would have to be thinking about um the Ray auto dispel might make the start of the fight weird where he's not actually doing all that much. But yeah, so the other thing that I'll add for this fight is my Ray is not really modded for the Datacron at all. It was just kind of like a spur of the moment thing that I even had it.
Yeah,
So this entire SLK squad is built with 3 defense sets and 4 health primaries.
I think it goes
Uh,
to what Tass was talking about too, Fatal, and I think that's a. I think we'll see that at the top is the general consensus is that the Dre with all of these other pieces is going to go away for the super slappy Dre of she will be
Yeah.
the thing of nightmares
That
per
that
hit.
brings us to, and credit to Aesop, because I was taking a look at some of the other top players to see what changes they were doing for some of the characters highlighted by the new Datacron set, including Dark Ray. And yeah, remodding her for offense makes sense. You could have offense primaries and go for the biggest slap possible, but if you felt that health was still some priority, then you might have health primaries with strong offense secondaries. This is what I'm cooking with right now. There's still a bunch of time until we lock in for the first week of 3 vs 3. This is all subject to change. But for the moment, something like an emphasis on super high offense with those health primaries. Speed can kind of fall by the wayside since she's taking bonus turns so often every time an enemy is taking a turn. And then by the time there's fewer enemies and you're getting less bonus turns, you're already winning the fight. So what's really matter? So yeah, just big slaps is the idea. 10.9k offense, over 110,000 health, under 280 speed, token amount of speed. That's kind of what I'm thinking right now. How about you guys? Any remods related to Dark Ray and friends for this team?
yeah, anytime that we see bonus turns, I usually just ditch all speed, although I'm going to have to farm some fresh mods to get ready for this cron, I think. Because really what I'm looking for is I'm looking for percent defense, percent health, percent protection, percent offense, and then flat offense. And I think that's just like the... literally just get that on all 6 mods, don't give a shit about speed, and just let that rip. Because especially if we're talking about Bane, it's like Bane would take like, even if you have just like flat offense with no extra rolls, just like one per mod, that would be like, I think 3,000 damage per AoE on Bane. Like that would still accumulate up. That
Fair.
yeah, no, it is decently easy to quickly pick up speedless mods. To some degree, like you're really just hunting for the stack combination, and then once you find it, you just lock that shit in.
Yeah.
So
Fair.
yeah, it seems like a worthy pursuit.
Yeah, and I did check this, by the way, and I saw that it was the same for players like Aesop that it experimented with. You went with offense primaries here and just tried to tilt out the flat offense on those and bring it up as high as you can. It seems about 11.4 Ks about where you hit like this, somewhere thereabouts with an offense set. So by going with the health primaries, I'm gaining, I think I had about 95,000 health when I was looking at this. So substantial, almost 20,000 more health at the cost of about 500 offense. I wonder, I mean, if she's taking so many turns, I don't know how much the survivability matters. Maybe just all offense is the best way. But for the moment, theoretically, 500 doesn't seem like a price I'm unwilling to pay for the survivability. See where it goes.
Yeah, I guess it'll really just be a meta call of like, my default is of course she like I would rather keep her on health primaries. Yeah, I guess ideally we would just really want to try to get some more footage of Bane and like really examine how close he is, because like he's fairly close to death's door on mine, but keep in mind my Dark Ray is like, she's only like plus 800 offense. Like it just wasn't
That's
even a concern in the mods.
that's
So
why I'm saying the point of it, right? Fatal in that I don't think we see the same fight. Well, one, I think that C Bane, but I think your idea of the Bane Savage is great, where it's just not going to be C getting to Link, because I don't know if you even get to that point of getting to where he got by the end of that fight. It just doesn't feel like that with a properly set Dre coming in and doing all those hits to those two people. You're not gonna. It's just gonna eat you up.
right, I think as well, Darth Bane, who's modding normally, like I don't even know if I looked at, I don't even know what my Bane has on. It's probably some generic health and damage shit. This could be a moment where you're called to question on like, hey, how's your Bane modded? I
Right.
don't know the answer. I don't know if most people know the answer. It's
Well,
he's
what
not
if
a man
it's
who particularly cared until now.
well? What if we played your game and did the defense side of things, and then you're doing like a Savage lead to stack the defense to try to be able to proc what's coming towards you.
Crucially, I think we would not be going defense because it's a true damage coming
Right,
in.
yeah.
And
yeah.
we could supplement defense with the chrono if we care, because obviously SLK is throwing out plenty of physical, but like you see in the video, they used a Zalbarkron, so it's 100%
Right.
defense, 80% health. I think like that 80% health, I think, was kind of crucial there. So
Agreed.
yeah, I would say Bane might actually have to try to shift over to effective health of like health and protection.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Just to like try to contest rails.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Any other interesting notes fighting this new Slacker Dre team? Move to the... All right. Well, as far as other tales and woe and valor against Set 22 crons, I know TJ knows the one I'm thinking of right now. I fought a full Halloran team with Temple Guard. I want to say that was round 3 against Rockstar. Let me see if I can't get you that fight, guys. Because you know when you're fighting full team of Jedi, you might otherwise sit there and think, okay, yeah, I feel like Riva could be good. Seems like a strongly anti-Jedi choice. Throw this up on screen, see how it looks. Torture. Try and get some roll in here. See that the DI is there. I believe that's from the Kron. Yep, there it is. And I was thinking, don't ability block Shock T. Let her get her first turn off. Let her do that Dispel, get Death Mark, and then we can roll in. All right, so that part worked. Okay. Oh boy, it feels like we're going in the right direction, right, guys? Right? Right? Oh. Oh, it's okay. She just death marked herself. I'm sure it'll be fine. Sure it'll be fine. It wasn't fine. And that's the fight. Dun, 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 dun. So yeah, say what you will about Jocasta, all the haters, but unless you have some solution to prevent her from transforming to rifle form in the first place, or being able to instant defeat her prior to
Yeah.
or after she's turned into rifle form, you're probably gonna die or just
That's
barely limp out.
crazy. And that's not happening at all this next season when we have Mace, so that can just go away. Because it's literally called out in this kit, you cannot instant defeat her. So that whole thought is null and void. We can just live that Jocasta. What did Dagger say? She's a bad woman. She don't need no man. Well, she kind of likes Mace though. But mid, you are whew, can't instant defeat the bad Jocasta. Man, you are in for a rough time.
Yeah. Aside from that, I fought a couple teams where Temple Guard was in with or without the Temple Guard Kron. Sometimes it would be Eris Kron with the revive. I want to say I used Freya against such a team, and it was trivial. No, wait, you know what it was? It was Treya against a Gungans team. I did fight a new Gungans. It had the double damage, level 6. I want to say speed up level 3, which is, I think, best setup for the Gungan team. And then I want to say the one that I fought with Treya was the Phalanx level 9, which is the AoE 50% turn meter removal. That's probably not as strong as Tarpal's. So I wonder if there's any difference made, but I don't think it would make a difference to Freya. The bottom line is, just like what you're otherwise used to in that fight, Talon got exploded relatively early, and then everybody else was fine, and then we won the fight with otherwise full banners. So I've been enjoying Treya on defense for some seasons now. There haven't been a lot of matchups that felt like she was required to make something work, right? So if we're trending back in that direction, okay, that's fine. But it's the first time I really felt the tug to bring her back to offense. So how about you guys? Other set 22 crons that piqued your interest, rattled your chain, any of the above?
I think we're all plebs. That would be like a you and
You
Sasha thing. We're gonna be
disgust
facing.
me.
Yeah, yeah. Us poor folks. We deal with the regulars. Just like I think SLKR will probably still be the defensive team, but
Mhm.
it'll be more solved come next season because we'll have what I think are going to be the tools, minus the build that Betal's talking about. Because I know I didn't see anything, like not even one close. And even checking all my opponents, and we're talking, I was right outside top 100, so one like maybe 110 to 130 or something like that. They didn't have any of the FDCs. I think I was the furthest one with my Hoda one, which was built up for the JKL. Spoiler: most fun attack for whatever reason is JKL taking a million turns. It's crazy.
I'm
Yeah,
sure.
I don't know if we're gonna see that, man. There's just the amount that you would have to come through to get that thing is Baby Yoda esque, Aesop esque.
Fair? Fair?
To be fair, I also don't fight Erodiums like you do, so you're right. We're not the same.
True. True. I fight good opponents and Erodiums. Really nothing in between. So
Right.
yeah. Let me think about this. Any other, so aside from the otherwise normal set 22 datacrons, any of the other focused datacrons? TJ mentioned the fun of using the bonus turn mechanic with the Hodacron. You don't
Yeah.
have to take it all the way up to level 15 to get that benefit. I think it's what, 9 for the JKL thing?
It's whatever 12, I think. I don't
10 or
remember.
12.
It
Okay.
was a pretty good. Yeah, I don't remember the number, but it was like
Okay.
right under. Definitely worth it though. I think it
Yeah, I
goes
don't.
along. Go ahead,
Honestly,
Edgar.
I don't. Oh no, I was just saying I don't really spend on data crowns, so I didn't have any.
Fair,
Yeah,
fair.
that I
I also didn't
spent for
fight
the
any.
one. I did for the 2 pack, so I did go for the one, and it was definitely for the full focused. Clearly the Dre was the winner this week, but for fun and what I was doing, it didn't. go above the normal teams, but I was able to take maybe one less character and then just do a million turns of what we were going through. So I was hoping we'd have the data up to show it. Didn't record it, but it's everything it was the last time it was here. He takes just a bajillion turns. It was fun watching the stun basically lock down that entire team. I think they did a BKM and I took like a 4-man team and they never took a turn. They just sat there because they were just multi-stunned. Ridiculous.
Okay. Nice. So any other notes on those focus data crons that anybody saw? I think we're about covered, but all right. Next item. Other key meta matchups. So Saw. This week I wanted to test and see if my remodded Fennec with 4 protection primaries was going to do better against that, pesky team that had Chirrut and Baze. I am sad to inform you that, man, I got shut down twice this week with that. And it worked in basically the same way you'd expect. They didn't immediately kill Fennec, but so what? Then they killed her in like 2 or 3 shots. Whoop-de-doo. The point is that when you finally get your first turns with either of your characters, it seemed to be fairly important that you have bulk in there as well, because if you can punch through and kill somebody, then you're getting your bounty hunter's resolve back and stabilizing the fight. So high bulk stats, and then you're thinking about the long-term future of this team. Well, I guess when the Dad Bod Boba Focus Datacron set is gone, the Saw Cron will go with it, so you won't have to worry about this specific matchup. But man, thinking about a set 22 light side bulk level 3 on the Saw team, high defense sounds. Anyway, Dad Bod Boba let me down. Nothing crazy in the setups with the characters. By the way, it was exactly
Actually,
what you
the
think
opposite.
Yeah,
your call out was really good.
I fought against a Chirrut Baze, and it was probably one of the easier fights I've done. Kara's more annoying with her TMR.
So is Bodhi. But it was like your call
Chirrut
out
being there was just like a walk in the park because he doesn't do any. When you put 2 characters on there that don't do meaningful damage, it makes the team so much easier to beat.
Yeah, I'm gonna find that Dad Bod Boba fight here and show it to you guys.
I'm just going to point out that one thing that would be is like we're not all fighting the Baby Yodas, the Aesops, and everything else. So I'm sure the loving care, because you did do a thorough job of looking at it. So when I watched you show the numbers and like try to take the feedback, the numbers were really high on what it was by comparison. So to be fair,
because it's not the comp, so I'd be curious what the cron was.
Well, the modding plays a huge partner depending on how the Bounty-Hunters are modded.
My Fennec is just in Fennec mods, and my Dad Bod is just in Dad Bod mods.
I was actually
thankful. But what does that mean?
I don't know. Whatever my guild asked for them for TW.
So that's probably I took our way of doing it, and that actually saved me. So that's where I said our discussion actually saved me. Where I went crit avoidance and then prod around the board, but kept them in like the offense set, and that actually saved my Fennec. So where I would have been singled out and got stuck in the Bodhi loop, the only reason I didn't is because I feel like the modding I put to her saved that ability to not get stuck.
All right. Well, I got my footage here. I want you guys to have a look-see. Feel free to tell me if I just bungled this. I'd love to know, but yeah. So far, not immediately dead. Neat.
I don't say anything about bungling. I was just asking how they.
Oh no, I'm not saying you did. I'm saying honestly, if you see that if I could have played this better, kindly let me know. Because the greasiest thing, you sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. The things that I hate is the things where it's like, well, you lost. Also, you had no control over that. You were just a spectator for the entire experience.
So one, if you didn't remod like you did, your Fennec would have been dead turn 1, which would have still put you in the thing. So you got to last through.
Yeah.
There's no way to get past what you were doing. Like again, that's the modding from the other side. I think that's what Fatal's looking for, but those levels of intensity.
How is she modded? But I don't know.
Oh, sure. I'm happy to show you mine here. It's 4 protection primaries. She was 271 speed last week. She lost a couple speed here in a recent remod, and about 14k offense is what she was last week. So
That armor might have cost you.
the low
Unfortunately.
armor. So she should have been in a 2-piece of defense. You think?
I'm rocking 3-piece. I'm just full blown like I'm battening down the hatches.
You're in full defense all the way through.
Yeah.
No particular emphasis on offense for you?
Not necessarily. Like, mostly the way that I'm playing it is I'm just using the summon to refresh Fennec's revives early on. And so it has a super small health pool that you can use the health ignore to time when you get your revive fairly conveniently. And so the rest of it is because you have Death Mark as an out, right? Eventually, it will not matter how much damage you do. You'll just have a checkmate on them. And so a lot of the early game is just about weathering the storm. Like the Kyle Katarn popping you for half of your health bar immediately is just like nightmare fuel. That really just batten down the hatches, try to buy time, like decide whether it's a turn that you do or don't need to kill the summon, because like there were definitely some points where it's like, okay, I need to hold this, and I need to bank this for the next turn because Fennec's about to lose her life. And then crucially, I had some uglier, like I still won, but I had some ugly matches in week 2 where I think my Fennec was only like 220 speed, where I think I just didn't even type a speed target into hot utils, where it was just like, I mean, it gave me the bulk that I wanted, but you do still kind of need her to take turns. So then I bumped her up to about 270, and that was kind of my final point.
So is your dad bot also similarly, configured 3 defense sets, protection primaries all the way around, no particular emphasis on offense?
Yeah. Like grit and the best car armor is obviously helping a lot there. That
Sure.
maybe you could get away with offense, but I figured it wasn't just prep for this matchup specifically. It was just like everyone in general. I just kind of wanted him to be this big colossus, just doing his thing. But yeah, like I could maybe see putting him on offense or something.
Well, I mean, clearly the AI's priority is going after Fennec. I've never seen that. Feel free, anybody, to chime in, but I don't think I've ever seen that not be the case, where, given the option, they're always going after Fennec. So
I've got an R9 Fennec with a R7 dad bod, so that could be clouding my results at times.
Oh,
I'm
because they're
out
going
about
after your dad
50-50.
bod sometimes? Yeah.
He has definitely had some damage pressure on him, where I was like, you would think for everything that he's given that it would be chill for him sometimes, and I've still been like, oh, okay, maybe Relic 7 is
Yeah, I
a
did.
bit.
I live at 50-50, but mine are both R8, and it's still, I haven't had one way or the other where I say it's every single time.
Okay. I think I might move both with him and her then at least into a 2-piece of defense and see what I can do to maybe find a little flat defense sides. But I take the point. Fennec definitely help more, at least in my case.
Yeah, for sure.
Appreciate that. Good note though. So you had no drops all season then running that against any saw that you encountered? That defense
I
really
would have to
proved
double
itself?
check.
No, not that I can recall.
Okay.
I'd have to double check. I think I maybe didn't have them remodded week 1. Yeah, I don't think that I had them ready week 1. So
But
that
I
otherwise,
definitely
you were
wouldn't.
just never let down by that defense modding running that.
no, it feels good. I mean, for
Love
reasons
it.
we're saying, right? She's critical, and like the way that we lose is by her getting dunked repeatedly. So
Yeah. All
that
right.
whatever it was said here recently, give somebody what they don't have or
Yep.
whatever, kind of applies here. Of like, Fennec's got a lot of shit here, but they left her hanging out to dry in terms of defensive tools. So
Oh, I like it. Great notes. Thank you. That was really the only other meta matchup comment I had from week 3. Just because, I decided to make that change to protection primary specifically to see if I'd have any issues in week 3, and then we did. Any other notes fighting teams this week, guys? Take it away. Other meta matchups that caught your interest before we move on to best attack and defense. So save that one. Other meta matchups.
I did fight a Queen Amidala Barris team with gas,
Yeah.
and this is probably pretty self-explanatory, but it was just, I don't know. I'll say it just for learn from my shit. Came across a turn where, like, okay, finally is Rex Duke turn. Pretty much everyone was covered by foresight or damage immunity except for Barris, and so I was like, I don't know, I just want the tempo. I'm just gonna kill Barris. And then the 100% offense, shocker, flipped the
Yeah.
match around. So, as easy as it is to be like, how revives are blocked, how bad would it be? Blah blah blah. It's like still probably respected if you're looking at that.
Still pretty bad. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Good note. Okay, guys, appreciate you on that one. Let's move on to best attack and defense of the week. For my own part, let me pull up the spreadsheet here. Feel free to check your own notes. I'm cobbling around doing the same.
I would say I think everything is up now.
I did this thing called homework. So before I sat down for this episode, I knew what my attack and defense were going to be.
Yeah. But we got data, it looks like, because even mine is up now, Tass. So I don't know. I think it was like the last one.
Well, let me give
We
that
literally
a
had a
refresh.
conversation pre-show about how history was up. So Tass told us to go ahead and find our favorite attack and defense.
Mine wasn't, to be fair.
tried.
But I also did my homework, as Dagger said. I had already pre-wrote that down.
Yeah.
Now
we're just sitting here waiting on Tass.
I think as far as defenses go, the surprise MVP. So round 3 for me versus Rockstar, the score was abysmal. Let me get you the details. I posted on him. So he's European. He was sleeping when I streamed this. I posted a 1738. Just a mess of a job getting through. He had a few decent crons down, special stuff, including Slacker, who I indeed did not one-shot using JMK. So we had several drops that produced that score, and we ended up having a couple surprise holds. The fleet stuff was me just playing into his tendencies, so there's nothing really noteworthy there in itself. But believe it or not, General Grievous with stat and having the set 21 General Grievous Cron, so that's the max health damage, dark side on for 3, and then you have Riposte level 6, Grievous level 9, some health, crit damage, potency on that Cron, just a mix of it, whatever. But 3 holds. It took him 4 attempts to clear that team. I don't have the data in front of me here just yet to see exactly all what he tried, but cleaned it up on the 4th go. And between that and the rest of the bleed, I was actually able to win that match by pennies. What was the final score? It was 1738 to 1729. 9 banners. So there you have it. So yeah, General Grievous was the surprise defense for me. As far as attacks go, I'm trying to think if anything else jumped out. I mean, the lesson learned on attack is certainly about Scion of Django. So back to the previous point, maybe considering at least a piece of defense, if not just a full defensive overhaul, worth considering. How about you, Dagger? Your favorite attack in defense of the Mr. Homework? I got my homework done.
Yeah, so my favorite attack is round 3 using my Jabba against the Balin Mercs with the Hunter Cron. Nothing. I just won the fight. It felt good.
Okay, yeah, it was okay. So it's got the Canderous and Dad Bob Boma comp using a set 20 mercenary cron, 59 banners. So it wasn't exactly smooth. I guess you lost your Bausch there, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, this was on stream, but Piggy Piggy's doing his work.
Oh, I see that you. Yeah, okay. So you did that. Okay, so that's noteworthy. You didn't have Kersand in there. You didn't have your proper tank. So fair enough. I wonder if you. Sorry?
Oh, sorry. No, that's fine.
I was wondering if you'd hazarded this against any of the comps that's something like Hondo Kira, or probably even harder than that is the Mercenary Brothers, right? I wonder.
You should ask if you go to round 2 with Piggy. I got a 64 versus Balin with the Bad Batch Bros.
Yeah, gosh, did it even have the bespoke on? It sure as hell
It
did.
had the Hunter one. Yeah.
Wow, super impressive. Notes about this? Anything that made it tick? Because I'll tell you this much: I had
The-
Jabba fail for me.
Whether
It
or
did
not
blow
Shin
up
gets to
Shin.
do her special and kill Boosh. That's it.
Yeah. So, I mean, do you have any
it.
particular notes on that? Because here, let me show you. I want you guys to tell me what went wrong here because I'm pretty sure I have. Was that? There it is. Jabba versus.
I'd be willing to bet that if you lost to Shin doing her push,
Yeah.
there's nothing you can do.
Okay, so I want. Well, the thing is, the thing that frustrates. I agree with you. I mean, she does need to be dead. I think if she gets to get that turnout, it's a problem. The
You lead off
question
with the
is,
match assist on her to put the buff on Boosh.
Yeah.
So that way you can just go straight after her.
to dig this and watch. Then, are you seeing this on screen now? We hit Shim with the
Yep.
third, so that she can't hide from me.
Nope. You wanted to do second here. You wanted to do the mass assist. That's
Okay,
probably
well,
where you went
interesting
wrong.
that you. Okay, I'll keep that in mind because so right there she would have hit herself, and we wouldn't have been able to continue after her there if we did it the way you suggest.
No,
Not
she would
saying
have
that that's
died. No,
bad,
no,
but-
no. If you'd done it the way I said,
Hmm.
she would have died to the Boosh bombs. She would have died to Boosh AoE if you had done it the way I said.
Okay, because you would have just had more damage up front and then the follow through.
Yeah, because that's what I did. Is I just did middle on her. Boosh did her AoE, and then she poofed.
Okay.
And the time she didn't poof, you saw the time she didn't poof. I lost Boosh to the special.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
TJ, fatal thoughts.
And then the defense of the week, because you were just going to skip right the fuck over that, was week 2.
Well, sure. I was going to circle back around that. I was just going to ask about that attack. Did either you, Fatal, or TJ have any notes about using Jabba against that? Just your observations this season?
I don't pull Jabba, but you go first.
No, I think you're fine because it's like I really didn't go that way. I focus more on the Gungan side of things, depending on what we're going on.
All right. So, sorry, Dagger. Back to you. You said round 2 on defense.
I don't like Gungans versus that.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't say we'd do it like I didn't have to face it. That's the piece where it came from.
Week 2, round 2, I think it is.
Yeah.
My opponent used like the God Seer team and only killed my Cal.
Looks like it. Yeah. And
like Seer, Malicos, Maul, Star Killer, Cal.
Yes, that's what he used, and it's a Nestcron. It's not even like it was a Sonicron. So, and then after 2 minutes too, he got just foreclosed on. So that sounds like an aggressive Nest went all in on Malicos.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm saying this is my hold of the week because like he took the guaranteed Seer win team and didn't.
Didn't work like that. Yeah. Shame.
Yeah.
Good notes. I like these. Good selections here. TJ, how about you? Best attack and defense of the week.
My attack is the one you gave and everything else. It's basically the mothers on the Ahsoka. So much fun. Highly recommend. 5-star. 2 and 3. So it'll be consistent. So just to close out the season, the mothers, super easy paint by numbers. It's nice to get a little bit of assistance when you've never done it, but once you have, it's just a lot of fun. So the highly recommend is the man. I don't want to deal with this, and it goes away. It was interesting to see yours, right? Because I know Sasha set it up
on screen right now. I can't believe I forgot it. Thank you for mentioning.
Well, you also haven't gotten to your favorite attack, so I don't know if you want to wait on it because I think yours that probably might be a key one. But for me, I fought the Watt, I fought a Nest setup, and it didn't matter. No Ezra, no turn meter. Well, there's no Ezra, so it didn't matter. But that was my favorite attack for 2 and 3. Best because I was setting it all season. So being able to pull that and get max banners, super awesome. Defense and what I told you. It was what I thought. The LV with the doubt. I took your guys' stuff the LV doubt landed it. And here's the best part. If you want to go to a cheeky one, round 2 versus Psy.
Your data isn't updated for week 3. Oh, here it is. Just now.
Yeah, it's there.
Good
yeah,
stuff.
it just came through. So if you go to, what you'll see is
Yeah.
2 holds, but go to the second one. Nope, go to the
Yeah,
second
so
one.
Bamsana got closed out.
Go down. You can go down, and you'll see the second
Da-da-da-da.
hold.
Yep, Balin, yep, retreated after minute 40, yep.
That means
Taking,
it
yeah,
just
so he got nothing. He got nothing.
And
what
then the
else?
other fun one,
Nothing.
so the other one that I thought was really fun was Malgus. What I thought Malgus was going to hold to, he tried dab bod on my Malgus team, and that's the one where we saw Malik hold up.
What is
That
that,
was pretty
round 3
cool.
here?
Round 3, yeah, round 3 for
Oh,
versus
Darth
Puppy.
Puppy, yeah. Okay, so he tried dab out. Okay, he got it down to Malik, respectable, but
And if
yeah.
I'll give you one more, which is cool. Go down just a little bit, and then
Yeah,
I'll be
please.
done. I swear.
Please.
That
No, this is
that
great.
hold the gas versus the CLS,
Classic.
and just got monster stopped. And I didn't put anything crazy, so it's like I don't know how that got messed up, but I will take a CLS not beating my gas, and it's that was cool.
Respectable. Yeah, he took a respectable setup too. Yeah, got foreclosed on. It's a
And he's
damn
won every
shame.
time he's done it. So call it whatever it is, but I'll take it. Those are my
Damn
favorites
shame.
to close out the season.
Yeah, and I covered my fights first before we covered daggers, but that's why I'm saying I
Okay.
can't believe I forgot to mention it. I'll show it here though for the folks at home. Sasha in our round in the middle of the week, he was kind enough to set for the first time, me seeing it all season, a Great Mother's team that had Ezra, but did not have a 25% turn meter level 3 cron. Which, when you have that particular setup all together, that kind of blocks out this Great Mother's counter, as far as I've heard. But this is my first time running it against an eligible composition that has Ezra and then a non-turn meter level 3. And so, please, guys, comment freely here if you think there's ways to improve this, because we do lose Great Mothers. Some folks said after I killed General Syndulla and Padawan Sabine, I should have just gone after Ezra instead of Hu Yang, but I'll be curious what you guys think. You're still pursuing the fight more or less the same way. My idea was kill all of the non-Ezra sides, then Ezra, then Ahsoka, right? So I just pursue one after the other, and so you can see how high Ezra's turn meter is. About to do something. And then I'm sweating it here. Do I basic? Do I save the special? So I decided to save the special there for Ezra, thinking that okay, maybe I only get the one chance to blow him up. Let's see if we get it right. All right, he gets a free turn, a couple turns. Pops Great Mothers unceremoniously. And then
I
we're
want to
actually
say
able to get the fight done over the rest of this time. We can talk freely here, but yeah, they end up winning out the rest of the fight, surprisingly enough.
I don't understand what they think that you would have done differently by going after Ezra first. I
Maybe
think your
not
call out
first,
was
but maybe
no.
sooner.
I'm saying before Hu Yang. No, I'm saying before Hu Yang.
Yeah,
You
okay.
can't assist on him. So what are you really doing? Versus you knocked Hu Yang out in 2 moves. That was, to me, still felt like the right thing, and you may have just gotten unlucky that they went after mothers. But you can't assist. You can't do anything else. You took all the right stuff.
I think we can agree that the only meaningful decision to make here would be about when to go after Ezra here.
That's why I'm saying you did it right, in my opinion.
Well,
I'm
fair.
looking at your order of ops, and if you go back to the point where you're deciding, do I go for Hu Yang or do I go for Ezra? Go look back at the steps.
Yeah.
You did 2 moves. You're not, in my opinion, and again, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't see you.
Folks said I got screwed here. You see this? You see how the killing blow came from Night Trooper, so I didn't get my blind. So that's something folks pointed out that I got kind of dicked on for that. So that's
look
because General Syndulla was, fairly low. And I agonized over this decision. I was like, do I do the mass assist or do I just do like the middle special and try and call Spirit and get the kill there? I decided to go with the mass assist and got dicked. I think that you have to do the mass assist, right? Like you're meant to do it so that
this is what I'm talking about here. This is what I'm talking about here.
Yeah,
is a question of he literally never gets to go. You're out 2 and then you're on 2 Ezra.
But
this
your
is what I'm talking
frenzy
about.
exhausts here, right? After she takes her next turn, frenzy is gone off Spirit. So maybe that's the point. Is it's like, and you can see his turn meter's full. It is kind of a now or never. If frenzy's not a factor after this move, then his turn meter's top of the line. Yeah.
So
then
that's why I'm saying it.
I want to see again how they get around her tongue because she was standing tall there. Then what happens? You do the middle, so and then she just takes off the tongue. Yeah. So
That's
nothing
what I'm
I could
telling
do
you.
about that. Yeah,
It's just
nothing I
bad
can do about
luck.
that part.
I think your Hu Yang call was the right one because
And
adding another
maybe.
character to do more things you don't like on this team, and so that's allowing it. You literally removed that and went right to Ezra.
Maybe.
So what
I
I'm
appreciate it.
asking you is, what are those 2 attacks that you're gonna do going to change? Are you killing Ezra in those 2 attacks that you just did on Hu Yang to literally delete a character?
Maybe not, because if you saw here, right here, she gets the turn. Okay, so she didn't have foresight. She was not able to ignore defense. Okay, never mind. No, I wasn't paying attention there, and I shouldn't have burned her special while she didn't have foresight. So okay, no, I don't. Obviously, that wouldn't have saved Great Mothers because that decision came
Right.
after that moment. But still, yeah. See there with foresight, just gone. Just sit down.
Mhm.
Just absolutely destroyed. But Dagger, Fatal, thoughts on this fight? Anything that TJ and I hadn't covered?
It's still a blind spot for me. Now that it's popularizing and a lot more people are paying attention to it, I'll probably start to interact with it. Just I don't know if I'm going to run it myself, but we'll at least look to see if I can block it and interact with it. But
And to be fair, I don't know how much of this is really enabled by having set 20 dark side offensive buffs level 3. You won't have
yeah,
that now.
I
I
do feel
do
like
imagine
that
that
did
will
help
be
some. Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, it is
Is that
significant for sure. So,
yes.
all right, appreciate you guys helping me break that down.
I'll
For frame
only
of
give you
reference,
one. Go ahead, Fiddle.
for frame of reference, how much damage did you have? Like not non-level 3, how much damage did you have in your cron?
I think I'm glad you asked. I really carefully considered for this fight what was the best thing since she is our damage driver, and if you're hitting folks while you have foresight, you're ignoring defense. At least with the special, right? I think it's just the special that gets. But I was thinking, okay, no armor penetration. So I went with the set 20 Dark Side Buffs level 3, like 137% crit damage, 167, something like that, and like 13% offense. It was only crit damage and offense with a heavy skew towards the crit damage.
Yeah, I'm saying how much though. Like I'm trying to compare what you had there to like what will be possible in the future.
Uh
Do you have your .gg up?
I don't think it up. I mean, I'll refresh it again, but it wasn't. Yeah, see, it's still good.
Unlucky.
Wait, no, it was against Sasha though. So let's see. Okay, so this was the Kron. 136% crit damage, 14.69% offense.
Okay, so that's. I mean, we're talking 50% offense, 50% crit damage gone. I'm not gonna say it kills it, but I mean
It's a dent.
the margin's
Yeah.
going to be getting close.
I feel like
yeah, because that was
now
three and a half minutes. Granted,
I'll call
with
the
Great Mother's gone a lot of the time, but it was still 3.5 minutes with having all that on our side. So yeah, fair point. Sorry, you were
I
gonna say.
only
The
give 2
people,
points.
sorry, the people who came up with
Go-
this counter are hard workers. That I would not imagine that this will be the end of it, but
Yeah.
certainly that might have an impact.
I just
Yeah.
want to give 2 points of interest. I think the non-Ezra would be dead. I don't think that's going to really resolve anything if Ezra's not on that team. I could understand the point of the Ezra being on the team, and that now let's talk. That's probably going to be non-factor. But the other piece I'll give that makes this so nice is that the modding sits universal. What that means is even if you don't have it on offense, it increases the strength of it on defense. I was seeing it all season, and when I took Tass's point of what we are looking at for speed thresholds for your, that was holding out the Malguses, that was holding out the Inquisitors even. So again, I don't know what it is, but it feels nice that once you set it, it can go on defense though, and it was doing some pretty good things. And then if you see they're not going to put Ezra on your Ahsoka, I feel like that Ahsoka is pretty dead. I don't know what they're going to do to stop that.
I appreciate that. Okay, so yeah, sorry for detouring back to one of my fights again, but let's get back over to you, Fatal. Your favorite attack and defense of the week?
Really, it's all just in round 3.
Right? Yeah, we're updated for you, so we got it on. I guess it's only me that screwed up this week. What do we got? Where are you taking me to?
I don't know if I have any like specific picked out. It was kind of more just like a broader shift for me, where it was just like Sith Eternal. Like I finally fought against an Ahsoka that had really high crit damage. And
I
my
see
Eternal
here, yeah.
finally ended up dropping to Huyang Hera. So
Yeah, 92% crit damage, 88% armor penetration. Yeah.
maybe there's a few maybes tucked away in there that like maybe doesn't slam the door shut, but it was at least cool to be like, okay, this could actually like possibly put me in the market for like Great Mothers potentially if there was need in the future.
Right, you've been leaning on
Um,
that C for some time, so
yeah, seen on Bane, it was just it worked and it was pretty reliable as long as I was built correctly. So
okay.
it was kind of just the cheap value. I mean, cheap GL for GL, but it was fine against Ezra and all that too. So
Great, no. Anything stood out for you on defense then this week?
plenty of defense holds. I mean, you saw the C fight,
Yes.
but yeah, I don't like Amidala. Like this was just a better season for her, and like, look, man, this is like the third consecutive set that we've had now that has light side bulk with crit chance and crit damage in the stats.
What did you do? Tell all the folks at home, because I would say as the season went on, I was less and less likely to have her set on defense. I really did find a few great uses for her on offense later on. Like any of the GG team, like the one that got a bunch of hold me with a GG set 21 cron, no issue. I took something like Xeris and Bad Batch Echo, and it was trivial. Want to say you can fight the Africrom with, I believe you want Xeris for. Yes. What's the secret to making this stick against Saw? Because I've heard people say, you need to just go high protection, mitigate. But every time that I've used this, and you can, I'm sure Dagger and TJ can chime right in. Anytime they've done it or anytime I've seen them do it, just an easy dub for Saw, right? You could almost 3-man it. So what's the secret?
Yeah, basically, Saw throws his. They do something to start the fight. Saw throws his bombs, and the fight's over. Like on the spot. Like
Too much.
do not pass go. 3 people are dead. Move on with your life.
Yeah, what's the recipe there?
Yeah, no, I'll have to reach out and see what their experience was. I don't know if they recorded it all, but that's
Okay.
unfortunately something I don't have for this. But I mean, it's nothing new really. It's like you can hover by Datacron
Yeah,
if you want to see it.
Right, yeah, yours. I see you've got crit damage and crit chance on there, and like you didn't mention that you'd otherwise remodded them for a protection primary skew.
Cam was always modded for protection. Padawan Obi-Wan was always modded for protection. I don't remember whether Amidala was, but she definitely was this week.
Okay.
And then crucially, I think I actually chose to leave Qui-Gon and Yoda on health, which I'd imagine would mean that they would get popped.
Yeah.
But seemingly did not happen, or for all I know, this could be like a test and retreat, which I don't think they were, but I just don't know. I'm just flying blind on this.
Yeah. Well, and we have no idea from this, like how far in the fight he progressed, because he withdrew in the end after 3.5.
There's 331.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like it clearly it wasn't a blowout where he blew out, most of the team right off rip, and he thought he could struggle bust his way through it, and then ended up like, yeah, nah, this ain't.
My running theory is I think that this is a fight where like maybe you do pick up some early kills, but I actually think Padawan Obi-Wan might end up being like crucially important here. Where
Having
maybe
that
it's just
protection skew, yeah, I think that's worth thinking about.
having the protection skew. I also give him a good amount of armor, and then also the damage on top to really just try to push pressure on the enemy team.
Does
I
armor
don't know.
mitigate the damage from the Saw level 6, the Rebel Fighter level 6? That whole shit popping off?
No, but he's a squishy little shit otherwise. So
Fair.
Was it the
Yeah,
damage
fair.
levels? Was it the damage level 6?
I assume so.
I mean, that's what's enabling us to talk about anything so frivolous as
Yeah.
a 3-man, right? That's the magic. You chuck the grenades. That's
Well,
why
no, I
this guy
know,
has a
but
Relic
since he
7
failed-
Saw, and that shouldn't matter,
Yeah, but
right?
since he failed, I figured I'd ask.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he did have it. I checked. Yeah, he came reasonably well equipped to the encounter. Not
Okay, so
having-
So y'all were doing the 3-man. What was the comp that you used in the 3-man?
I did 4-man.
Luthen
I didn't have the
Kyle.
ball. I didn't have the balls to do the 4-man, but I did.
Yeah, same. I
I
wasn't messing with that.
I did Saw, Krex, Kyle, Luthen, or Saw, Krex, Luthen, Baze, and I didn't need Baze, and I didn't need
Rex.
Krex.
Yeah,
I could have 2-manned it with just Saw and
technically,
and,
and I've done it with
Luthen.
Saw, Luthen, and Kyle.
So for what it's worth,
yeah. Sorry.
I had a hold to Saw, Luthen, Kyle in previous weeks as well.
No shit. No.
So
Yeah, I definitely. So I say that I took a 4-man, but if you like, it's on Tass's stream, both rounds 1 and 3, where if I had just taken in Saul and Luthen, I would have won both fights easily.
yeah, man, I don't know. I honestly, I'll just like pull up my GAC loadout and like do an image share of their loadout or whatever, just to like. But aside from like maybe just double checking people's protection to like, hey, y'all are still on the up and up, right? Like I think Amidala had a Critowide arrow that I pushed back to protection primary or something like that. But no,
I think people are still on health build, which is why it works. I think that's the reason why you can like really cheap two 3-man it.
Yeah, because I'll say
you might argue for
Striker.
every last one of these to be taken out except for Qui-Gon, right? It feels still kind of right
I was
to
gonna
keep
say
him health set.
Well,
I
Queen.
think
If Queen and Qui-Gon live, that could get slightly problematic if the summon gets resummoned.
so.
And
Just
then
to
you have to
call
make
out,
it back around to the next AoE, basically, from Saw.
just calling out to what Striker said too. He said he faced somebody who had and again, Striker, one of the Patreons, called out a specific fight where he fought it as well, and there was a properly set Queen, and he felt that variation where the health wasn't there, and so they didn't just justify, and he actually had to fight the fight a lot longer. And I think his was a 4-man or something like. But just calling out, and it would track into what Fatal is saying about the higher protection builds. If you're doing that and you're not getting through any of that because you're on that setup, that can actually lead to the problems you're going to face.
All right, Fatal was kind enough to share the mod setup that he run last.
There's a few thoughts here, actually. I mean, so Kyle Katarn has pretty shitty base crit chance. And I'm assuming a lot of people aren't doing their homework on crit chance secondaries. Like, it's entirely possible that the Critavoid arrows, which are not intended to... Oh, even Amidala still had it, apparently. I don't know, man. It's possible that they're just not really doing that much damage in the scramble. Like, my POW, I'd even budget cut over to a health set, which I'd imagine would be worse here from defense set. And
yeah, that's really interesting. I wonder if you're thinking what's really unique about this, as far as composition goes, would just the consistency, foresight stuff from Grandmaster, right?
Grandmaster is here not really for the foresight necessarily, but just because he shares the exact same character profile as Master Qui-Gon.
Sure,
he's effectively a second Master Qui-Gon for the team. He's a support with high damage output, with a good health pool that you can just combo with Cam, and yeah, he just does a ton of damage.
Oh, sure.
He cuts through gas like butter.
And I love the way you've got him set up. I'm just thinking about in terms of what about this composition could be really dangerous to that Saw counter. Something where it makes you feel like you could maybe tough it out over the course of 3.5 minutes. And I'm just thinking where you're just getting delayed on getting to kill people because of protection up and foresight consistently coming out. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna say.
No, I was just gonna say, to be honest, like, look at Yoda's base health pool. Like, his base protection is just so bad that, like, if the bomb pops, like, it's cooked. And, like, I don't know the mechanics of the fight, but, like, I would assume, like, Amidala mass assist on the free guy into Saw Bodo's turn before Yoda does foresight. Like, I don't see a world where Yoda doesn't just, like, die immediately to Saw Bomb.
You would think,
so,
yeah. Something to consider. So maybe he does, and then because of this defensive modding that you've got set up on Queen doesn't keel over. They're not able to get around the summon, and stuff starts to happen. Like, you're not able to kill maybe they're not killing you. You're not killing them, type of thing.
I mean, I'm looking at my Queen right now, and apparently I wasn't. I might have had the swapped modding in week 2, and then I went back to an old loadout. That a lot of it just might not be here because Queen is on a Critowide arrow and a health triangle. Like, she is not that protection tilted. I don't know. Interesting.
Okay. Well, here, let me scroll down to Cam just so folks have it.
Cam is like,
Yeah,
I
pretty
have
standard
beef.
fare.
No,
Well, I
no,
guess
this
for
Cam is
you.
good as shit. He's got a crit. He's got a crit chance triangle and like a crit chance. I mean, Cam crit chance is bad, but when I'm running Cam into this team, I do not care about his damage output at all. He should
Yeah.
be 3 defense set 4 protection primary.
Yeah, so him having a
Weird.
mixed bag like this, not intended. Fair.
I must have budget cut him in a recent season.
Gotcha. Oh, thank you for sharing. All right, and yeah, Sasha got lost out in the boonies, so we don't have any notes from him on that, but thanks, guys. That wraps this segment up, and let's turn over to takeaways and final thoughts. So yeah, I mean, I'm glad set 20 is on its way out. Right, we're in the waning hours here. I've already broken all of mine down. We won't see its like for some time. Grateful for stuff like this. Yeah, as fun as the Sauna team was to do and having flexibility to plan with it, just not really feeling like I want the game to trend in the direction of having cooler and more punch uppy offensive options. There's already too much for attack. That's nothing new, but glad to see it gone. Gonna be a brave new world when we come back, but with the focus Datacrons, a little bit of experience, we've seen that it is possible to win with JMK versus the Slacker Dre, which seems to be the standout by far, the most dangerous, I guess, offensively. We'll have to see how things look with the Temple Guard Cron with the Mace, which will not be available for week 1, but I think that it's coming out where you can have him unlocked a few hours before DAC lock on for week 2. I think that's the way it's going to work out. So we'll have to that's in 3 verse how it looks. But anyways, wrapping things up, I'm just glad for the meta to be changing. There was far too much stress just around the same 3 teams, and does it go well and I get full banners, or does it go to shit and I lose 6 or more? Would be something I control or not. Always fun. But yeah, that's about it for me. I'm just I'm glad for a change in powerful new crons here in the new set. A lot of winners. So looking forward to it. Dagger, how about you? Takeaways. Final thoughts.
Next season, we will have defense on Krons. And we will also have Mace and his Padawan Dua Lipa and that whole team in the game. So it's kind of hard to tell what the next 5v5 is going to look like, but hopefully we have better defensive options with actual defense being on Krons. Yeah, I don't know. The season ended up being anticlimactic for me because I struggled to find time to participate, and that forced me into a bracket where I didn't really. You guys saw the Omega. You guys saw the reports on Tass's stream. I mean, to be fair, I'm a favorite versus my roster would be a favorite versus most people. But there were some pretty big gaps as I fell down to like the 200s, 300s.
Yeah.
So, looking forward to fighting the top 100 again.
Mm-hmm. You're on your way. You'll get there. All right, TJ, how about you?
I was just there like 2 weeks ago.
Anyway, TJ, your takeaways, your final thoughts, pearls of wisdom for the folks at home.
I think the one thing we haven't talked about, and I'm only going to focus on 5s, is that when we come back to the week 3 of 5s, we will have officially more focused Datacrons than teams on defense. We saw what it did with like the Zalbarcron. We've talked about it. But if you think about it, it's going to be crazy that we'll have that many focused Datacrons, and how this lives out, seeing where the season is just wild. Right, we talked about when Datacrons were going to be there, but now we're going to have focused Datacrons. So I am weirdly, cautiously, like thinking it's just kind of it's gonna be wild, man. That's all I can say. Like getting all of that and what it's gonna do, because as we've seen with them, they have a higher calling, not necessarily who they're aligned for the most part. So it's gonna be fun.
Sounds good, man. Appreciate it. And Fatal, we would skip to Sasha here, but he did have to take off. He's got family business to handle. Thanks for joining us, Sasha. Best of luck with all that. And now over to Fatal. Your takeaways, final thoughts, or your musings for when we come back to fives next time.
I feel like I kind of got away with murder to some degree, where most of my opponents just weren't really playing as efficiently or whatever as needed. That yeah, it was. I mean, my rank dropped a ton too, so that will have some effect on it. That yeah, did some rank repair, probably back around top 100 now. Maybe a little bit less screwing around during GAC, maybe a little bit more just doing the thing. But I don't know. So like the season didn't burn me as bad as I think it easily could have. I will say though, like it I have some concerns. I think it's going to be an interesting upcoming season because stuff like weakest light side and support datacron don't come across as these like it doesn't come across the same way that like Sonic Bam does, but I'm not actually sure that they're too far off.
Mm-hmm.
I do think there's going to be some tug of war that the season might still end up being more efficiency than it seems right now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I definitely think it's at least going to be a big meta shakeup, and we'll see where the cards fall. I admittedly have not seen Mace or Dep or any of that at this point in time, so I have no idea where that will sit relative to everything else. So that's just a total blind spot for me. But no, hopefully it's good. Looking forward to it.
I'm having high hopes for pretty good defensive meta. Every time we've had defense come back as a stat, it's blocked out a whole bunch of shenanigan craft that you might otherwise try. You got to come proper, get through all that most of the time. Then again, compared to previous metas, where defense was all around, we have more true damage than we used. We have more damage of all types than we used. So I take your point. We'll have to see. I do have an expectation for better future. All right. Before we close out here, as the only other content creator on the show, where can the good folks find you? And are you going to be doing anything in this off week before we come back for 3 vs 3? Take it away.
Yeah, I'm gonna go read those kits right now. Yeah, probably play some video games in the meantime. There's 2025 is just like a bizarrely stacked year. There's just so many good games coming out. I literally do not have time to like play even half of this shit. But it's a good problem to have. But yeah, we'll see.
Don't forget to mention though, where are the folks going to catch you when you're doing?
Oh, I could have sworn I said it first. Fuck. Twitch.tv/PlayWithTV.
Praise, man. All right. Well, thank you. And thanks to all of my co-hosts for joining us. It's time to wrap up. If you want to catch me live, the place to do it is twitch.tv/Tassinix. I also simulcast from my YouTube channel, Tassinix Gaming. If you haven't been over there before, check it out. There is some Swugger-related content there that I think you'll be interested in. We've got stuff like the Datacron set guide videos that I make with Aesop Rock, one of the top players in the game. We've got mod guide videos on characters and factions that you've asked about. I'm slowly working my way through that. We've got stuff like the How to Mod series, parts 1 and 2, teaching it ground up, everything you've ever wanted to know about mods. GAC Omicron tier list, whole bunch of great stuff. It is, of course, a rebroadcasting point for this very podcast. But anything that you like on the channel, please do hit the like button and hit subscribe if you want to see more. I really appreciate your support. Plotting and Scheming is, of course, native to Spotify, but wherever you find the show, check the description. There is a link that you can use to plug us into your preferred podcast program and follow there without issue. Aside from that, if you want to go above and beyond to support the stream, there are a few options. First, I have a PayPal. That is $Tassinix. Sorry, no, that's a Cash App account, $. I have a PayPal, that's tacitix@gmail.com. And of course, if you'd like to get some enhanced scouting power for yourself, early access to some of my content, and a couple other of cool fringe benefits, you may want to check out my Patreon, patreon.com/tacitix. For any upwardly mobile Grand Arena player, there is something there of interest for you. At $5 a month, you enter the TAS House at VIP access level, where you get early access to the Plotting and Scheming podcast, which is coming out to our general audience Friday mornings at 8 a.m. But my patrons are getting it as early as Tuesday night, within hours of us recording, so you get the early edge on that first round of the week. You also get early access to the Datacron set guide videos, whatever couple odds and end videos I make from time to time just for patrons. And of course, there's a dedicated text and voice chat on Discord where you will usually find me lurking, so pop on in and say hi. Thank you so much to Andrew, Banja, Deadpool Cow 28, JJ's Productions Twitch, Jobin4527, Miasmal, Mus Ross, Raised Malbus, Sam Vimes, Sheepdog 47, Squed, Stark Strategy Gamer, Queens 14, and White Wolf. Moving on up to VIP Access Plus, this is $10 a month for a bundled Patreon access to me and to your choice of either OmegaBot or Hot Utils Patreon. OmegaBot's that tool that I'll showcase at the start of my streams. It gives you a very concise sense of what your opponent is about offensively and defensively with its variety of graphs and easily, broken down data. Anybody can use the tool for free to build a report based on their opponent's last week of history, but only patrons can build a custom report with any number of weeks. You get a downloadable HTML version of the report with links that you can click that go right back into swugga.gg or Insight, whichever you use. Helps you further save time on your scout, drill down on those key matchups you're interested in. Alternatively, you might spring for the Hot Utils Patreon, aka Chili, which is, of course, the #1 tool for your mass mod management and loadout creation. Nothing else lets you switch so easily between your TW, Grand Arena, TB, and Raid mods. You can use it like TJ and Fatal do to comprehensively remod your roster. You can slice through hundreds of mods in seconds, be a big help to your guild in TW, and a few other odds in it. But regardless, there's no wrong way to go at VIP Access Plus, so thank you so much to Dobby, Esh Sotnikam, Meow for Me, Mr. Tony, Ploon, Shake23501, Single Malt Jedi, Snack Attack, Striker, and Trouble Fingers. VIP Access Premium is $15 a month for the DoubleBot bundle. So, all-in-one sub, Patreon access to me, OmegaBot, and Hot Utils. It's not possible to find a better deal on those two bots a la carte. And so, yeah, the bundled Patreon with me is why so many of my patrons say that it is their favorite value bundle in all of Swug. Thank you so much to Argots, Arj, Big Ninja, Duckstab, Darth Link, Frick Frack Pattywhack, General Milan, Ivanek, Johnny B. Ottawa, Kev, Mini GK, Pills, Quig, Saldag, Sir Boss, Sophus, The Lost Womprat, Wilco, and Soltray. And at the top of the list, in Jester's Club Elite, the one, the only Nomad's Reaper. This madman pops into stream from time to time and just goes gangbusters with drops hundreds of subs, thousands of biddies. He's done it several times over the years. And, it's always appreciated, never expected, but it really moves the needle, man. Really appreciate it so much. Of course, last but never least, our special thanks. But of course, one of my original supporters from way back in the day bought me the mic I'm speaking to you on right now, and even though he's long since quit the game, we wish him well from the inside. Mrs. T, my wife, thank you for all you do in the background, whether that's furnishing me with coffee or alcohol, or just keeping our daughter from tearing the place apart while I'm tied up trying to be halfway decent at a phone game. I appreciate you. And of course, to Dagger, TJ, Sasha Aisha, and Fatal, my co-hosts here on Plotting and Scheming. Gentlemen, as always, it is a pleasure and a privilege to record our show together. I learn from you guys every week. Hopefully the feeling is occasionally mutual, but regardless, it's about our community. They love the show. Lots of questions, engagement, discussions centering about what we cover here. You guys add so much to the show. So I appreciate you guys more than 2 years in making yourselves available despite your busy work and family schedules. Thank you guys so much. All right. closing up, yeah, great season. Sorry, coughing. Yeah, it was a great season. Had a lot of fun. I want to say only 3 Erodiums the whole time. So considering that I was in bracket 2 and bracket 1 all this season, pretty nice. It's usually chock full of Erodiums. So I finished. I want to say I finished that season at rank 4. Really, I'm starting out this new season of 3 versus 3 in the top bracket. If not, expect it'll be like a situation as we started here this time. This time with me, in bracket 2 for just the first. But stay tuned. I will try and do a Conquest and Chill stream, at least one here during the off week. Stay tuned on my Discord to find out when that may be popping up. But until next time, it's been real. It's been awesome. It's been real awesome. Take care.